Okay, so today I'm on my way to round 2 of my closing from yesterday. I'm going to explain that in this video. What is a round 2 or part 2? So I'm going to explain that later. I got to do a little story time about this closing I had yesterday. I actually want to brag on this client a little bit, well, actually a lot. So starting from the beginning, when I met her, she called me early last year, probably around April, May time frame, and she told me that they had just moved here from Miami. So she's from my hometown. She's from the Fort Lauderdale area. So we instantly bonded from that. But she was very sweet, and just like, I just heard the thrill in her voice, the motivation, the determination to really buy a house. So I put her with the lender. I recommended the lender to her. She contacted that lender. They ran her credit, and she wasn't quite ready at that time. So that lender had started working with her in a credit counseling program to try to, do whatever could be done to get her score up. So she started that program with him, but then her and I didn't communicate anymore after that. So I figured she just another one of those that call and waste my time, and I never hear from them again. I didn't hear from her for months. Last year in October, she called me back. So we talking from April, May time frame all the way to October. I thought she was gone. I thought I would never hear from her again. But she called me in October, and she said that she had been working on her credit, doing what the lender and the credit counselors told her to do, and she felt like she was ready. So I was like, oh wow, well, it's really good to hear from you again. She was like, well, I told you what I was going to do, so that's what I did. And so I'm like, I love it. So we got back on the ball and picked up where we left off, and there was still a couple of things that they had to get in line with her mom still working in Florida. There was just some things on the financial side that had to be worked out before we could start shopping. So finally we got all those things figured out, and got the pre-approval, and I showed her 2 houses. They told me what they wanted. They told me what they were looking for. I'm good at listening. I'm good at paying attention. And because I know our inventory, it didn't take me long to find her house at all. I sent her a bunch of listings that matched her criteria, and I showed her 2 homes. Now, the area that she initially wanted to be in was going to be a bit out of her price range for the size home that she needed, or in another area that she was interested in. They had her price point available, but they were much smaller homes, so she was going to be getting less for her money in that area. So I introduced her to another area in New Caney, and I just told her, just keep an open mind, let me show you something else. And I took her to New Caney, showed her 2 homes in New Caney, and they picked the second one. So I only had to show her 2 homes, and they loved the second one. They loved everything about it. The first home they didn't love, but they liked it. It was missing a couple of things that her mom wanted. But the second home, after I showed them that first home, and I kind of got more of an idea of what they wanted, being that this was our first time actually seeing a house together, showing them that first house made me more aware of what they wanted. And also there were things that they didn't know they wanted, so that got added to the list. So after we saw that first home, they liked it, didn't love it, so they didn't want to move on it right away. Went home late that night. I got back online. I'm like, okay, now I know exactly what they want. Now that we've seen the house together and they know, they know more of what they want now that we've actually seen a house. Went online late that night, did a new search, and I found this second house. Sent it to them. Mom loved it. They loved it. They, just from the pictures alone, they loved it. So I scheduled a showing. We went back out there. 2 days later, I showed them their house, and that was it. That was it. They said, this is it, Angie. That's it. This is the one. So they, this is a new construction home. So like I've explained before, when you buy a new construction home, you're always going to, 95% of the time, you're going to get the best loan, the best overall deal from the builder's lender. When you use the builder's lender, you get the incentives, the closing costs, and upgrades, and all of that. So, since they said this was the house, I told her, okay, we'll go ahead and submit a loan application to the builder's lender. You've already been pre-approved for that amount, so it shouldn't be any issue getting approved with them. Did it, got the approval, good to go. Signed the purchase agreement. She paid her earnest deposit, and she paid her earnest deposit like right away. Everything happened so fast because she was a great client. Some clients, you have to chase them and text them and text them. Did you get my email? Did you check your email? She was on it. Like, I'm talking about, this girl didn't sleep, okay? She was always refreshing her email, waiting for something to come in. So anytime the lender or myself requested anything from her, she was on it. She responded really, really quick. And so that really helps your process go quickly. So she did. She paid that earnest deposit real quick. The sales agent sent the purchase agreement. I reviewed it. She reviewed it. We all signed. Boom, we under contract. Everything happened so quickly. I want to say it was maybe exactly, no, it's been less than 30 days because we went under contract on the 26th and we closed yesterday. So a little under 30 days. And that's how quickly it can work when you have an agent that listens to your needs and wants, when you have an excellent lender that's on top of things and that's willing to work beyond those 9 to 5 hours. Because I'm telling you, these lenders, when I found the house that night, the lender was up late at night. We were discussing, texting back and forth, trying to get this loan approved for the next day. Got it done. So when you have a great realtor that listens to your needs and your wants, and that knows the inventory, knows her stuff, knows his stuff, and you do your part by responding in a timely manner, being organized, having all your documents together, your process can go so much smoother and quicker. So we were under contract January 26th. Then we had her first walk, like really quick after that. I think the first walk, the pre-walk was on the 7th, and then we closed yesterday on the 22nd. So everything happened so quick. And I want to back up again and remind y'all, she called me last year May, and then I didn't hear from her again until October. All that time, she kept her word, and she was working on her credit like she said she would, because she really wanted this house, and it shows. And I am so proud of her. Young girl, single girl, with her mom and her sister, and they got this house, just the three of them, and her nephew. So I a lot of times, I know I always talk about bad clients. So this video, this time I wanted to brag on the good clients. These are the clients that I like. These are the clients that I want to work with. I'm never rushing anybody to buy a house. I'm not one of those agents, oh, if you're not ready to buy it right now, then I don't have time for you. I have time for the people that have the desire, have the ambition, have the determination to really buy a house. You have to understand the difference between difficult and impossible. They're two different things. Just because something seems difficult to do does not make it impossible. Having some credit challenges, low scores, collections. None of those make it impossible to buy a house. It may make it a little difficult. Those things that you have to work through, those are things that you discuss with your lender, and your lender will help you through that. That you don't try to hide things from the lender. The lender is going to help you. The lender wants to give you the loan, so they're going to help you. So it's nothing to hide when you have, collections or low score, anything like that. It's nothing to hide from a lender. They're going to help you because they want to give you the loan. So it's all about working with the right lender, though, because there are some lenders that won't fool with you. They won't give you the time of day if your score is below 620. Some lenders, treat you funny when you're below 700. So that's why it's good to, if you pick a great realtor, your great realtor is going to have great lender partners. So that's why it's good to work with your realtor's preferred lenders. I don't get any kickbacks, any referral fees, no extra commission for working with my preferred lender. They don't get any extra monies. There's no money involved when you use your realtor's preferred lender. You're using your realtor's preferred lender because we do business with them time and time and time again. We know how they work. We know how they treat people. We know what programs they offer. We know they're going to close you on time. Those are the only benefits to working with our preferred lender. So don't ever feel like somebody is forcing you to work with their lender because, they probably going to get paid more money. No, couldn't be further from the truth. So, but back to the client. She did amazing. She was very pleasant to work with. Her and I are probably going to be friends now. Very pleasant. Her mom, her sister, everybody was great. Nobody was being a diva at no point. I didn't have to deal with that with her, thank God. So how closing went for us? Yesterday was closing day. Normally, when you close, if you do everything early enough in the day, closing is a couple steps process. Closing is not one thing. When we say closing, there's a few steps involved in the whole closing process. After you do your final walk, you sign up on your final walk, you get a closing date. Technically, what closing day means is signing. So first you do your walkthrough, then you go to the title office and you do your signing. That's what people call closing. But that's just signing. So you got signing, and you got funding, and you got recording. Those are the 3 steps involved in the whole closing process. So the first step is to do signing. So yesterday we were scheduled to do signing, and it was so late in the day, they gave us a late appointment. So whenever you do closing, try to get an early appointment, because if there's any back and forth between the lender and title, that could eat up your time, and you missed a cutoff for wiring. And so just try to get a morning appointment for closing. So we had a late appointment, and so that's exactly what happened to us. The lender and title were still doing some back and forth. Everything hadn't been finalized yet as far as them balancing title, and the lender has to balance the numbers that the lender comes up with has to be the same number that title comes up with. If title does their balancing and their numbers are off, then the 2 of them have to work together to figure out where the differences are, and that could take time, and that's what happened to us. So instead of our entire closing process being completed in one day, it ended up rolling into today. So we did signing yesterday. We took some pictures at the title office, but she didn't get keys because funding hadn't passed cutoff. So that kind of split up our whole closing process. I like to do this whole, little celebration for my clients after closing, and it's so awkward when it gets split up into 2 days, because it kind of breaks up. Like, it it's just not the vibe. I can't stand 2-day closings. But that's what happened to us. But one monkey don't stop no show. The show must go on. So yeah, I highly recommend early closing so that none of this mess happens, because you miss cutoff and you can't get your keys the same day. You have to wait till the next day. So I'm on my way to the house now to pick up her keys, and I'm doing this whole little setup. If y'all don't know, I have an event planning business, and I do, decor and all that. So I'm gonna go to the house now and get the keys for her. I'm gonna do this little, cute little setup for her, and then tell her to come to the house. So that's where I'm on my way now, and so I will take some pictures and videos. I'll share it on TikTok as well, and I'm just excited. I didn't like that it ended up getting split up into 2 days, but hey, it happens, and we just roll with it. So that was the point of this video, just to kind of explain to you how closing goes, how it can go, some of the ups, the downs, explain to you what closing really is. It's a 3-step process, not just signing. You have to sign. After you sign all those documents, you sign your life away, then the title company, the escrow officer, is going to send all those documents back to the lender. They scan them and email them back to the lender. The lender has to review them and make sure everything was signed correctly, there were no blanks left. And once they confirm that all the documents are good to go, then that lender funds the loan. They wire the money for the house. And so that's funding. That's step 2. Then step 3 is recording. The county records that house in your name. That's closing. So part of it got done yesterday, the other part got done today. It happens. I love it when it happens all in one day, but it doesn't always happen that way. But that's okay. So yeah, I'm on the way to the house now. I'll do pictures and videos and do a TikTok. But I love closing day. I love celebrating with my buyers. It never gets old. So y'all will get to see a little bit of that. And that's it for today. I'm not going to make this an hour long. So y'all stay tuned. If you're not following me on TikTok or Instagram, all of my social media links are going to be in the link tree in the description. So I hope we can connect. And I also would love to go live sometimes on Instagram, so that you guys can ask questions instead of this always being a one-way, me just spitting out information. If you have questions, I would love to be interactive and for y'all to be able to type your questions in the chat or to Zoom or group me out. However, I would like to be more interactive. So anyway, make sure y'all are following on my other accounts, my other social media accounts, and stay tuned for part 2, round 2 of closing today. All right, y'all, take care.